Yeah, sure. Look, last couple of minutes. You know, where we're looking, where do we want to go? I guess there's lots of opportunities out there. Where we do see a greater need is to engage more with those tier twos and potentially tier threes as well. And the best vehicle for doing that is through the peak industry bodies because they've got that reach upstream that's already established. It's always been a struggle for Harps because the retailers have relationships with tier one suppliers, and then tier ones essentially manage that relationship with their tier twos. So the retailers don't have any direct access to tier twos. As we built the Harps database, we are more able to email the tier twos and so on, but that's it'd be better to sort of have more established routes to access those people. And I think where we see there's a breakdown in communication is sometimes that the information stops with the commercial leads. We would certainly love to see more technical representation on the senior leadership teams within each of the businesses, all our suppliers. I think that would be great to see a technical conversation that goes further up into the organization, and that helps build that positive food safety culture. And I think in terms of the future state, where do we want to go? It's about probably improving the audit experience for growers and suppliers. So that means, can we use things like digitization, fresh care in that area, which we're sort of working with them on as well, potentially. Also, how can we ensure that minimize the amount of time that it takes, which obviously helps reduce the cost by looking at remote audits. And I think those are the two big things that, with the the improvement in technology, that there should be improvements we can make, which gets a better outcome. We're still meeting those food safety needs and improving the food safety outcomes, but we're also actually improving the experience for growers, and we're minimizing time and cost. And I guess just finally, we do have a very close relationship with Hort Innovation, obviously with Harps, and given their ability to fund projects, it will be great to be looking at projects that actually address root cause issues, things specific to Australia. A lot of the food safety knowledge does come in from overseas, and that's good because we want to learn from things that have happened elsewhere to prevent them from happening in Australia. But there's also a need to make sure they're relevant to Australian growing conditions. So leveraging the ability of Hort Innovation projects that could meet that objective. And ultimately, as we said at the beginning, the Harps model of having all the retailers sitting around one table is pretty unique. There's nowhere else in the world that actually does that. So how can we use that model to other industry-wide challenges, whatever they may be, in the ethical space, the environmental space, the auditing, capacity and capability, all those sorts of things, I think are topics that we can possibly put into the Harps business model, and ensure that industry has a voice and have representation with the retailers. So it's a mature and progressive conversation that happens that really moves our industry forwards. And I think we're almost done in time, but that would be, thank you once again for your attendance today. If you have questions, please do come through to us. Go through your peak industry bodies, go through to Hort Innovation, come through to 1300 number, talk to your retailers. Would love to hear from anyone who's got anything they'd like to raise. Thanks, Belle.